Well, howdy, 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 everybody. Teresa here. It is now May 20th, 2022. It is early Friday morning, either 2:30 or 3 a.m. But I thought I'd come on here. I didn't make a vlog yesterday. Thought I'd come on here. There's a little something I want to do. I want to do kind of an online or a verbal I don't know when's eulogy, an ode to my father, because I feel like I was robbed of getting to say goodbye to him, having another conversation with him. No, I'm not going to cry. And I want to be able to share some of my perspective of my father. For whatever reason, if it's true that he didn't want me to know, or if that's just what's been told, doesn't really matter because you can't change what's past now. First off, I want to say I cannot thank you guys enough for being there for me. The outpouring from you guys, my friends, and from some family members, like my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, my aunts, my uncle, who's the only surviving out of all the siblings. And one perspective, it was a good thing because it kind of reconnected me with my aunts and my uncle. And that's always wonderful. It reconnected me with friends I hadn't really talked with in such a long time. It reconnected me with knowing who was there for me and who isn't. Like, Brad definitely has been there for me, and I'm so grateful for that. It makes you look at life and decide what's important and what's not. What's not important at this point in time is the lies that are being told, because I know the truth, and so does that person. And I'm just not going to feed into it anymore. My life is my life, and there's a reason I live clear across the country, and I'm not going to, let my life stop because of that. It's been almost a week, almost to the hour. I let myself have this week, and now it's back to living full time because I have other responsibilities and things going on. I do have an appointment. I don't know if I told you guys or not. I do have an appointment to see the orthopedist on Wednesday. They got me in very fast because it's that urgent with my shoulder. Because it's what they call frozen shoulders. I can only do this. Good thing I can do most things with either hand. So, and then I do have an appointment, I think it's in July, with the podiatrist. I have a mammogram scheduled, so my doctor will leave me alone about that. She just not gonna let up till I do it, so I'm gonna do it. So, but anyway, I want to thank each one of you guys. And even those of you that didn't say anything, you were there in spirit, maybe you gave me a heart. Even if you didn't do that, I know that you're there. There's a lot of us that just really don't comment too much on other vlogs, depending on what you're watching it on, too. It's a little hard to comment if you're watching on TV. This is a menthol nicotine. So, anyway, like I said, what's done is done, but I wrote a little bit of a eulogy. You guys will give me this, and that would be my pleasure to tell you some good things about my dad. The song that comes to mind the most about my dad is American Pie. I'm not going to say, I don't want to get copyright, but it's like, Bye Bye American Pie. It's the day the music died. Yeah. I can remember from early on singing that throughout the house. Every time it came on, Dad would crank it. And so every time I hear that song, I think of him. I kind of had a little impromptu thing for him in when I was waiting in the car today, because I looked up that song and I said, "This is for you, Dad." And I said, "I love you, Dad. I hope you're happy up there, and this is for you." And I played the song, and now it's on my playlist. So, like I said, people can say whatever they want, but they can't take my memories. So, what I could tell you about my dad is I did love my dad. My dad used to be my hero. And the things that we shared, he will always be my hero in that. For the longest time was my protector. In some ways, I've shared with you guys about wetting the bed, and it was a medical reason, not being allowed to change the sheets for a week. Sometimes my dad would sneak me sheets and blankets and stuff and help me change them, and then, I don't know how he made sure those were laundered, but he did, and I was always so grateful for that. Like I said, my dad loved the song American Pie. My dad did have a temper. He was a very good looking man, very handsome, especially when he was younger. Basically at that point in time he kind of had, he had the dark hair and kind of swoop it up, and yeah. He was born and raised in Wisconsin on dairy farms. He used to tell me about that the cats would be lining up and he'd be milking, and he was so good he could get each one of them in the mouth, right? His life wasn't easy growing up at all. But, let's see. I was his shadow from the earliest time on. I literally followed my dad everywhere. If my dad was working on a car, I was there handing him the tools. If he was cleaning out the shed, I would go there and help him. Wherever he was going, I usually wanted to follow him. He took me a lot on fishing trips, and I have such fond memories of that. It was stream fishing, and we would go crazy. I think it was a place called Red Fork. I don't know why that stands out, but you would get permission from the rancher, and we would go there and go fishing. It was stream fishing, and so there was a lot of walking and stuff. But I have very fond memories of that. My dad loved car races. Whether it was on TV or actually watching them, he loved the car races. I think that's where I got my love of them. I'm not too much for one watching them on TV, but I sure do love to watch them in person. When we did a lot of camping when I was growing up, and I remember the campfires with my dad. Early in the morning and later at night, roasted marshmallows, stuff just sitting out there. I was the one in charge of the campfire, and man, I made sure it was roaring. Then my dad'd be like, "Okay, don't put any more on for a while." I used to go with my dad. Neighbors and stuff would want to pay him to re-roof or to paint their house, and I would go with him. And yes, I'm up there on the roof, and I'm scraping off paint, and it was a sense of doing something well. He did have a lot of hobbies. One of them that wasn't mentioned was he had greenhouses, and he could grow anything. He was very good at it. I used to love to go into the greenhouse, and the smell of the peat moss and the smell of just the plants, and it was warm and humid, and just like I said, the beauty of the plants and the smells and stuff. Um, I always so enjoyed going there. He could fix a lot of things. He taught himself how to fix computers. He could fix most things. And he was good with his hands. He was also very intelligent. Um, he loved to pull pranks if he could on people. With this neighborhood boy when we were growing up in my hometown. And he was a real pest, right? He was my brother's friend's little brother. So, he just kind of ran amok. And my dad convinced him one day that this was a piece of jerky. Yeah, it was a dog treat. He pulled that one on my daughters one time too. And what did that say? One time my mom was gone somewhere. It was out of town, or maybe she was in the hospital. And anyway, one of us, my brother or I, spilled some pop on the couch. And he was, saying something about, "You're never going to drink another can of pop." But the thing he said, he turned around and goes, "And I'm not serious." And we just lost it. Or sometimes he would say that he was just felt like he was going to blow apart. And I go, "There goes a finger, there goes a thumb." It was always a good time when it was just him and I and my sibling. We had a lot of fun. It was very relaxed. Dad would jump in the middle if we had chores and it was something we were supposed to be doing and help us on out and stuff. I mean, he was, I have very fond memories of that. One time, I have to tell you guys, one time we were there. This is when this is since I married Brad. And he was barbecuing chicken outside. My dad was. He had a gas grill. Cooked up some natural gas. He did that. And anyway, so he's doing it and it had a flare up. And it flared up so high that it singed off his eyebrows and burned his hair here in front. And all of a sudden we look and he's like, and then he comes in the house and he's trying to act like nothing happened. And he took it off and you could see, you know how when hair burns, he wasn't hurt, but it was just like, we teased him about that for the longest time. My dad taught me to drive, and he was so funny because it might be half a block to the stop sign, and he would keep going, "You are going to stop, aren't you? You are going to stop, aren't you? You are going to stop, aren't you?" Funny, what's the time I turned around, I said, "When I get close to it." So, yeah, he was, like I said, he was my protector for the longest time. I did love my dad. And I know he knows that. I believe that when you die, you are at peace with any kind of conflict in your life. And I know he knows I loved him. There's nothing that can be done about what happened. I mean, he's gone now. And I'll hold on to those memories for the rest of my life. And look back very fondly on the good times, That concludes the eulogy. Everybody kind of shuffling your seat. Somebody coughed a couple times in the background. What do y'all think about this Johnny Depp trial? We've been riveted every day. And if we missed part of it, then there's a gal's name is Christina Randall, and we watch her. She does like an overall cap and stuff. It's like, woof wee. There's something else. I still think that he should win, or maybe the judge would just call it a mistrial and just either of you getting anything. Stay away from each other the rest of your life. You hear Charlie. You may see me shaking. As Charlie is, it's severe thunderstorm warnings right now, and it has been rumbling, and he has been very frantic. In fact, I was gonna paint, but I didn't want to. He's stressed out. He's right up against me, and so I'm not gonna do that to him because he needs his mom. Took Jelly Bean with us today. We had to go pick up a bunch of prescriptions. We finally got it where they're doing a 90-day fill on our medications, which makes it so much easier. And a lot of times the medications is the same price for 90 as it is 30. So we did that. We got a sandwich to split. Had a couple errands that we had to do. So that'll be good. Okay, Saga of the Ice Maker. Said red ice maker that we bought, I think, shortly around when we moved here. They sent one. We bought one. They sent it. It had been used. You could tell it had been used. It had coffee stains on it. It did not have the basket for the ice to drop into. It didn't have anything wrapped up like it normally is. It wasn't in plastic. There was no manual book. And they advertised this as new. So we sent it back. And we told Amazon about it. And in the meanwhile, Brad thought maybe he had fixed our ice maker. And it seemed to kind of be doing okay. And when you know it, then it craps out again. So we had to kind of scrape some things together and buy a new one. It should be here later today with my hand sanitizer. I don't know about you guys, but you know, no, we're not wearing masks in places, even at our doctor's office and stuff. They don't make you wear one now. I'm sure other medical places still do, but we don't. It's not mandatory, but we sure do use a lot of hand sanitizer. Brad even said, he said, I'd like to have some in his room. We have some in his bathroom, and like one in the front room, one in the kitchen. Because, you know, you touch stuff, and now you're very self-aware, so now it's like you always want to, you know, be sanitizing. It's like if when I change Jelly Bean's diaper, I want to, you know, sanitize. I wonder where she is. Oh, there she is. She's the one that's not afraid. I said, Nixie is up against my legs, laying on my foot. She seemed to be handling it better than Charlie. So, yeah. I saw the most pretty sun catchers. They're the crystals on online. I was tempted, but just like, no, not right now. Overall, I'm doing okay. I'm a survivor. A valuable lesson learned from this. And like I said, I'm going to carry on my life. And I suggest everybody else just does that too. If you like me, fine. If you don't, that's okay too. So, anyway, that's all I got really to say. I just want to do my little eulogies. Thank you for letting me do that. That meant a lot. I just wanted to talk some about him. And like I said, they can do whatever they want. They can't take my memories. You know, they cannot take my memories. I also am going to be working on writing a book about some things that went on in my childhood and stuff. Of course, you know, I'll change the names and all of that. So I'm going to be working on that slowly too. Because I think it would be good that even if it never sells a copy, to have my story down. It would be good. So, anyway, I love you guys. I do cherish your friendship so very much. And remember to do something nice for somebody else and then do something nice for yourself. I'll talk to you later. Bye.